Hello and welcome to Scrolling with Ceazor. Today is March 9th, 2026. Okay, it was a little bit harder to find some decent tweets to talk about today. A lot of news about Iran, of course, a few little things, but it was a little bit slim pickings. The market's pretty quiet these days. Most of the stuff in my timeline, even in the following tab, was all like just political stuff, right? So yeah, like I said, I had a little bit hard time finding stuff, but I do have a fair bit with you, so we can get through them. But as always, this is not financial advice. This is my own personal opinions, so take it with a grain of salt. So let's get right into the charts here. So first of all, we have ETH pumped a little bit. Now, both ETH and BTC pumped a little bit, and I think it's mostly due to the fact that both Bitmine and Ceazor did a buy over the weekend, or maybe directly in the morning, a couple hours ago. So things have pumped a little bit, but again, it's it's not crazy bull run yet. We're still bouncing around at the bottom. If you listen to the vibe on X, we're in a bear market right now, according to most people. I don't really feel like a bear market. I don't really feel like if I go open up the chart here, like ETH USDC, back during this time here, I felt really, really bad, right? And during this dump, it was terrible. In 2022, after this, the COVID crazy crash, right? So if we go back, here's the COVID crash, and then this bull market was insanity. It was so good. It was so fun, and everything pumped like crazy. All the centralized entities were levering up DeFi coins, and everything just pumped like crazy. There wasn't millions of tokens to choose from, so it was just you couldn't lose. And then during this dump here, from almost 5K down to 1K, that was bleak. That was painful. And then the years past that, it's just been look at it's just a complete crab, right? And so long as you've been providing liquidity during this time, or holding interest-bearing coins staked ETH and stuff like this, then you've been doing pretty good, I would think. Yeah, I don't feel too bad at this point here. But if it starts going back down even further, down to 1K again, then it's going to be painful again. But I still I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? I hopefully we're going to turn around. Look at this mess here. I don't know. I should probably delete these. But anyways, let's kind of look at gold and see how gold did over this weekend, or this today. So gold also pumped a little bit, but then retraced that little pump. So it's kind of just where it opened, I guess. So yeah, so a little bit of volume, but no crazy capital gains for anybody. So anyways, yeah. So you can think about this stuff. Do what you got to do. Let's kind of jump into Pharaohs now, the daily digest. I'm really enjoying this daily digest thing. And this platform as well is just fantastic. Again, I'll do a video on this sometime in the future. Just waiting, being lazy. So let's read through what it says here. 60 coins blink yellow. Okay, so PSI clawed back to 91.2 bedrock after touching 90.8 yesterday. Let's kind of see if I can skim this out. 60 coins are now sit in the watch band. So the watch band, I believe, is the where's that thing? Let me jump around until I find a depeg tracker. Yeah. So this is the watch band in here. And these are the ones that are outside safe. So, some are getting close, but as you can see, this is closing in, and the peg is getting a little bit scary for a lot of coins. It's basically saying this is the watch. Pretty much every coin Every stable coin is in this watch band now to like be careful. Where's that stability index? Yeah, you can kind of see it in here. As you can see, so let's see if I can zoom into like his 7 days. Yeah, so it doesn't look too bad on the 7 days. On the 30 days, it's even up on the 30 day. But if you look at all time, you can see, there's a lot of green above this chart. So we for a while now, for all of pretty much 2025, our stable coins have been like kind of sitting around just above the watch band, and now there's a whole bunch down, and you can see the different colors of green in here. But anyways, let's go back to the digest and read what it says. The tension lives in the middle shelf USDA at 270, the largest coin sitting in alert, scoring 38 meme and GD. This is pretty hard to read sometimes, driven by a liquidity erosion. Meanwhile, USDC and USDT both reversed yesterday, shedding a combined 68 million against the weekly gains. So that's like minting and burning. And its breadth. So USLC, I don't even know what that is, added 2 billion on the week to reach 77 billion. What's USLC? Let's check that one out. So pop this in, reach USLC. So that must be USLC. So that must be bot hallucinating, making up shit. I don't know. So yeah, that's it today. Basically, the main thing that we can talk about is that DPEG tracker. A lot of coins, sitting in the like. Be careful. DPEGs might be coming for some of them. Now, DPEGs are not necessarily a terrible thing. DPEGs are actually fantastic if you have minted those stable coins and sold them, and now you have debt in them. You can buy your debt back very cheap. I remember I made pretty good bank on a stable coin in a few years ago. I had minted a whole bunch of them, and it DPEG'd down to like 80 cents, and I bought it all back, all my debt, and repaid my debt and got my collateral back out, and that was fantastic. So DPEGs are not necessarily a terrible thing, but of course, like if you are holding those stable coins, it's a bad thing. But if you had sold out of them, then it's a good thing. So, some people win, some people lose when these DPEGs come into effect. But anyhow, let's move on to some news. So Frax Finance here. Frax has proposed to be part of the Aave V4 hub, which is pretty cool. Like if we go to Aave, let's just check on mainnet core instance, and if we go down through these tokens, we can see that Frax is not a token on mainnet. I'm on the base market right now. Let's go to core. See, Frax USDC. Yes, as you can see, Frax is not on. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere here. There's a lot of tokens. Oh, here's Frax here. I'm not sure if that's the stablecoin or the collateral or the governance token. It's hard to say nowadays, but because this could be old, but I'm not sure. But anyways, like it is there, but it's got $0 inside. So yeah, the core instance V3. So we've got Prime. I highly doubt Prime is going to have Frax on it. But yeah, my point here is like Frax is a pretty big ecosystem. It's a pretty successful ecosystem in my opinion. Like I did a tweet today, and to say honestly, it's like the most successful if you think about footprint, like how big this thing is and how much it's interacted with DeFi and spread and promoted the use of DeFi and just spread throughout the entire ecosystem. It's fantastic for that, but it's not on Aave, right? So I guess they've proposed to be the Frax USD which is like basically their focus right now is to this stablecoin is proposed to be on Aave v4 core hub. So I don't know exactly what that means, but I would assume, like, I did a video on sorry, not on Aave's core thing on their new v4, and the core hub is like basically the center where all the liquidity is, and they have these satellite hubs where, you know, more risky stuff can be put. So they're asking to be put into the core hub, and I think that's pretty good. Like, Frax is one of those stablecoins that is trying its best to, well, like, it's compliant, it's Genius Act compliant, it's trying to bridge like traditional finance and DeFi together to be the stablecoin in the middle of that and so forth. So yeah, like I really hope they get into here, because they will grow quite a bit if they're able to join this v4 hub. Moving on. So here we have Pandora. This is Pandora, the prediction market. Again, I've got a video on this if you want to check it out. And so it says breaking oil gaps up to 110 in the first 10 minutes of trading. Will it reach 125 this week? So we've got some questions on Pandora. Will oil measured by the CL1 trade above 125 at any point before March 13th? So nice little short term, a few days. Will it pump? Will the price of oil pump? You can bet on that. You can hedge your gasoline costs at the pumps. I've noticed, you know, the prices here where we are have skyrocketed. They went up like 20% in one day. Just like the next day is like 20% more expensive. So, you know, I wish I had more oil stocks, but I don't. And but I still think oil stocks is a pretty good long-term bet if you've got some traditional investment vehicles, maybe some oil or gas and oil ETFs and stuff like that. I would consider that stuff. But yeah, if you want to bet, and you can do this here on Pandora, but also, like, if you want to create a question, if you've got a better idea for a question, you can just create it and provide your own liquidity to it and take your own bets on your own liquidity, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's move on. So here we have ETH Strategy retweeting someone who's talking about Ethereum. So ETH Strategy is the best place to do business. He said Ethereum is the best place to do business. And let's see who he's retweeting and talking about. So Laura Shin, Ethereum is the only game in town. In this Unchained Pods up, Joe blah blah blah, join me to discuss it. Okay, so it kind of feels like that. Like all the Solana noise has died down quite a bit. There's not, I guess they've stopped paying people to tweet and to make tons of noise. I haven't seen Mert tweet anything about Solana in weeks. Today I saw him on the timeline tweet about ZEC, right? Zcash. So I guess they're I wouldn't say they're closing shop, but they're definitely in a a quiet time. And the only thing I see people tweeting about nowadays is Ethereum or Bitcoin, of course. Bitcoin's not gonna, like, there's diehard Bitcoin people who will always tweet about Bitcoin, so I don't think that's gonna stop. But Ethereum is the only place I hear any legitimate news about, whether it be L1s or L2s, but mostly L1s. The L1, sorry. Let's move on to Token Bryce. Token Bryce is retweeting something here that's pretty interesting, okay? So I'm going to have to read this out loud, and then I want to kind of think about this, okay? So it says, I can't believe this kind of bait and switch still work. Imagine the level of ignorance you must feature to believe that a card, one of the most regulated financial products, can be KYC less. Yet, somehow, every 6 months, the story clocks in, each time with a new provider. So this is like he's retweeting some crap about, like, it's the be off-grid market yourself with a no KYC Visa card. Okay, so I don't know. I didn't really look into any of these things that claim to be a Visa card with no KYC, but I kind of believe what Token Bryce is saying here. It makes a lot of sense. Like, there's no way you can get a Visa card, like an anonymous Visa card. It's just not going to work, right? They're going to definitely want to KYC you, right? So I don't know, like, I guess this is just like a phishing attack or some sort of, you connect your wallet or you send some money in to get the Visa card, and then the Visa card never shows up, or it's fake, or I don't know. I don't know what the game is, what the scam is, or whether or not it's even truthful, or like whether it's actually a no KYC card. I think, like, if you're going to use a Visa card, do you really need a no KYC card? Like, why? Like, the only reason I could think of it is to, like, because you're going to fund it, right? You're going to send money from somewhere into it. You can do this. You can wash your money with privacy coins or privacy protocols. You can hide your wallet so that you can protect your net worth from, bad actors, and just remain anonymous. You can wash some money through one of these things and then fund your Visa card with that. Fund that wallet or that vault or whatever it is you're using to get a Visa card. So I don't really see the problem with like having like needing a no KYC Visa card, because you're not going to like put all your money on that card, all your assets. You're just going to use it to spend on day-to-day things. And you remember the days when you had to sign everything, or if someone gets a card, it's like no KYC card. Now there's quite a bit of taps, so they're not really looking at the card, but it's not going to have your name on it then if it's no KYC. And like, is everyone going to accept this? You can't use it at a hotel. They want to see the card is the name of the person is the same as the card. They're going to ask for your ID. I don't know. It's just so strange. So yeah, I guess he's probably right, and that this is probably some sort of scam. So if you do see a card like no KYC Visa card, just be wary. Be careful. Moving on, here we have FX Protocol. So they're talking about their governance token right now, and they're like, if you lock your governance token, then you can vote on the gauges, and right now the APR is around 25%, but there's no inflation on this right now. So that's 25% is all coming from WST ETH and voting incentives, so bribes and so forth. Now I did, like, the WST ETH is the yield that comes from people using ETH as collateral. So I have a video on it if you want to watch the video. But so basically people will put ETH to mint their stablecoin, which is FXUSD, and then that ETH is turned into Lido staked ETH, and that yield is taken and given to people who lock FXN tokens. So as you can see in this image, it's like 10% is in ETH, Lido staked ETH rewards, and 14% is in bribes to the pools or the gauges that you voted on. Now, so yeah, or that maybe I'm not sure. I'd have to double check, but I'm not sure if it's running like Curve or Aerodrome, like Solidly model, where you only get the bribes from the pools you vote on. But it kind of looks like here that I should double check this, but I'm pretty sure it's like Curve, where all the fees are gathered up together and then given to everybody pro rata, regardless of where you vote, right? I think that's the case here. But anyhow, so you can check that out. If you do hold FXN tokens, you can consider locking them. The locking is probably 4 years as well, like Curve. So yeah, think about it, decide what you want to do. But I thought I would share that 24% is pretty good, especially since it's not in inflation. It's just in real yield. Okay, I remember the old days when real yield was the thing. Okay, so here we have DeFi Investor. The DeFi Investor, sorry, and he's talking about, he's retweeting this thing. I don't know where he got this, But he's retweeting this image of these charts of different kinds of like comparing things. And let's read what he says, and then I'm going to open up this picture and talk a little bit about it. So he says 70% of the revenue in DeFi perps sector is generated only by one app, Hyperliquid. Pretty insane considering how many perp dexes are out there. So if we open up the picture, which I should have here. So let's open it up. So it says crypto is trending towards duopolies, as all markets eventually do. Data looks like there's a share of revenue. Data looks at what share of revenue the leaders in the individual categories own. Data stacks up to 100%. So if you these charts, so you have these charts. The black is the leader's share of 100% of the revenue, and then the red is the contenders, like second placer, and then all the other is blue. Okay, and so the DeFi investor says that about perps, but there's no perp on here. There's not even dexes. Oh, here's dexes. I guess it like maybe they've got dexes and perp dexes all in one, which I don't know. But anyhow, if you look at this chart, I think it's pretty interesting that like there's always like the leader who's taking all the money, and then there's the secondary one who's taking a good amount of money, and then everybody else is sharing the crumbs, right? Which is kind of like, I'm not sure if it's great or good or bad, right? I think it's good in some ways because it makes investing a little bit easier. Because like people want to trade perps, right? So like which one should I buy? I think Hyperliquid is probably the safest bet. It might not move as much as like some new thing that drops and has a lot of volatility, but I think it's a much safer one because people like if they're like, hey, if you ask 10 people like, hey, I want to trade perps, where should I do it? Maybe eight or nine of them are going to say go to Hyperliquid, and then Hyperliquid will get the revenue. The revenue is used to buy the Hype token, to just buy back and burn, I think, or at least buy back. So it makes investing a little bit easier, but it also decreases the size of the system and innovation, because now that one team, it's so hard to beat them and take a share of theirs. So innovation gets kind of stunted a little bit. But I do think if I wish I could see what this where this came from, this article that he pulled this from, and I might actually ask him like, where did he get this? I'm gonna ask him right now. Where did you get this chart, please? And see what he says. I mean, he might have it. It might even be his, but I don't know. But the data comes from DeFi Llama. But I want to know. I want to see like which are these black ones and which are these red ones. Like I would like to see that, because there are some other things inside here that you might want to consider, right? Like lending, and there might be some governance tokens in here that you might want to consider. But like the list is pretty long. Like there's even MEV. RWAs, on-chain capital allocators, block builders, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, let's move on. Here we have Star Platinum. This guy likes to do deep dives into individuals, and here he's got like basically a deep dive into this guy Morand, who got wrecked. So he's like the biggest crypto fumbles ever. And it just kind of goes through and shows like all these people who just got wrecked because they were like doing stuff that just silliness. Like this guy who bought pizza, like he's at the bottom, the guy who bought pizza with Bitcoin, right? Which is kind of nice, but but Morand, losing just millions and millions of dollars because he like decided to go community coin and shield it like crazy. But yeah, so like don't go all in on something. Don't try your best. Like there's all kinds. This is a pretty big list of like people who just totally dropped the ball and lost insane amounts of money. So yeah, be careful. Think about things. Don't go all in. Don't think you're smarter than everybody. You can read through this long list of things of fumbles and decide what you want to do. But yeah, I think it's worth sharing in the sense that, like, just be careful, diversify a little bit. Don't put all your assets, don't put all your money into something. Don't lever up in a way that you can't get out. And trade perps for fun. Don't consider perpetuals as your way to get rich. So, like, putting more money into perpetuals than you can lose. Moving on. So here we have Coinfessions. So Coinfessions, I don't know if this stuff is real or not, or if it's just all made up. Sometimes it feels real and sometimes it feels made up. But it does say here, to be honest, I'm starting to lose faith. Been waiting for coins to pump and am in the red on almost every single investment. Spent ages accumulating and it just feels like I just feel like a complete moron. He doesn't say I, but just feel like a complete moron. So, like, I don't know what he bought and when he bought. I'm definitely not in the red on everything I've bought. Like, I bought my ETH a long time ago, and I've been staking and LPing. So my ETH is definitely not in the red. It's in the red if you consider how high it was at 4K, and now it's at 2K. So there is red there, and I'm not going to sell here because I believe in it. But and then I also have lots of other coins where I bought some and I lost, or I farmed and I should have sold and I didn't sell. And a little bit of OTCs and a little bit of VCing and stuff like that, where I'm all down on all of it. But I haven't lost all my money, but I'm definitely in the red on some things. So the way I get out of it is I just don't hodl spot. I just put everything to work. Everything goes to work. It's like, there's no point of, like, holding spot hoping it's going to pump if you can get APR on it. And the APR is pretty easy in DeFi. Like, you can, if it doesn't have staking APR, you can LP it in a concentrated liquidity position. Just do a little bit of math. Like, if you put $5,000 in there, you put it in a concentrated liquidity position where you sell half of it, and the concentrated position will, like, if it goes out the top, it will yield you back your $5,000, so you'll be break even, and then you have the other half to lock and put to work and stuff like that. But I only ever buy tokens or not sell tokens that I believe have product market fit, as well as some sort of fee revenue generation sharing utility, right? Whether it be bribes, whether it be fee revenue sharing, or even just buybacks and burn, like this kind of stuff. These are the only things that I ever keep, and because I believe that those products will have staying power and will continue to hold some product market fit. So anyways, so yeah, like, be careful, think about that. If you want to know more, like, specifically what I like, my DMs are open. You can message me, we can talk a little bit. Moving on. So Alexander from Velodrome Aerodrome, he's talking about Uniswap again, okay? But what he says is worth sharing again. So it says, it appears the Uniswap fee switch is live on Base and Optimism. That means if you are providing liquidity in any V2 or V3 pools, your fees have just been cut by 16 to 25%. So yeah, so it's worth considering. Okay, now if you were to move these assets to Velodrome, right, then you have two options. If you move to Velodrome or Aerodrome, you're deciding to get Velo or Aero tokens and then maybe sell them, right? So you no longer get any fees, right? Or you give up 10% of your fees by not staking in the gauge. So 10% is better than losing 16% or 25%, right? And if you look at those pools, you can see the pools. There's like USDC ETH, Coinbase BTC, USDC, Coinbase BTC, WETH, like these kinds of pools, right? And there's probably a lot more too. So you can kind of go through that. So there are options out there. But I mean, now Uniswap is not the place where you go and you provide liquidity and you get all of the fees and it's just not the place to do that anymore. So I think it's worthy, or it's news to mention that this is important for you to understand, because up until like recently, I think it was like 4 months ago or 5 months ago, that was the case. All Uniswap was like permissionless. You would use it, they take nothing. You know, they were taking some front end fees when you're swapping through their front end, right? But who does that? But if you were a liquidity provider, you were losing nothing. You were getting all of the fees. All of the fees generated from your liquidity position were yours. But now they're cutting they're taking 15 to 25% of those fees from you. So you have to kind of look elsewhere if that's something that bothers you or concerns you, okay? Moving on. So here we have Sam from Rise. It's a pretty long article. I'm not going to read it all out loud to you, of course. I will explain to you what it kind of is about, and then you can dig a little bit deeper. So it says how on-chain Forex volumes 100x from here. So Forex is definitely something that, you know, has been attempted a few times in DeFi and did not like have any Lindy. Like in the past we had fixed Forex, which is, you know, Iron Bank thing, which is pretty much wrecked. We had synthetics, which is also wrecked. Like especially like if you look at this DPEG stablecoin, look at the top one, SUSD. It's like the top worst DPEG'd stablecoin, and it's synthetics stablecoin. Now I'm not sure if they're gonna fix it, but it's like, I don't even know what it's trading at right now. Let's open it up and see. So it's trading at 81 cents, and it's got like just a track record of being like depegged for like forever, right? So, but they also had other Forex, so they allowed you to trade like Forex. So I guess this is just a factor of the design of this protocol doesn't work. People don't want to use it. Now I remember when I was first in DeFi, I was looking at it and it was really complicated and hard to understand, and I just gave up on it. So I think that's the problem with this. But like fixed Forex was incredibly easy to understand, but it also failed. And now it could be because, you know, it was like Andre left to run on its own protocol, or the team, who was the team, nobody knew, right? It was like, Andre is the team. No, he's not. I'm not the team. These guys are the team. Iron Bank's the team. And Iron Bank's like, we're not the team. Andre's. So it was like a weird, like, who's in charge of this thing, right? So anyways, my point is what Sam is talking about here, and I'll read through the whole article, of course, is that like we are at a point now where we can totally service a lot more stable coins in other currencies. And I know like there's a lot out there that people like and people want to use, like especially like it's a no-brainer, right? Like if we go to search here and let's go to Euro, there are quite a few Euro stable coins out there. As you can see, there's like Circles Euro, Monero Euro, Euro Stasis Euro, but I think Stasis is like off peg as well. And there's quite a few Euro stablecoins out there that you can kind of take a choice at. And then, you know, on Friday, I believe I talked about the Kwon, the South Korean stablecoin. And, you know, I would love to see more different kinds of stablecoins out there. Like I'm in Canada, so it'd be nice to have a Canadian stablecoin, but like there's only this one. And I don't know. It's on peg, which is nice, but is there any yield? Maybe I should check out if there's any yield on this coin and whether or not it's something I can hold. But you know, Canada's terrible for like protecting its citizens from crypto, and you can't get yield on anything unless you use the 3 or the 5 banks that are in control of everything. But anyway, so you can read through Sam's article here. It's a pretty long one, and but there's a lot of good points in here, and it's a good read, worth reading. So I will link that in the description of my tweet and my video. Okay, so here we have Tom Wan. I don't know who this guy is, but he's retweeting the idea that like Pendle now surfaces looping strategies directly in their UI. So yeah, like normally you would have to go somewhere else to loop your Pendle tokens. So if you had like Pendle collateral, you could go to Aave or Morpho and you could borrow stablecoins, buy more Pendle tokens, or even use that other Morpho. There might be a single click place. I don't really loop Pendle because I just don't do it, but maybe I should. But anyways, so you can loop now actually right in the Pendle UI for, I would assume, only specific coins. But so that's worth noting, and I think everybody who does do looping are really happy with this. They can just do it straight here in the front end now. Okay, so this is pretty interesting news. I've got this one and one more tweet to talk about, okay? And the other tweet is more about real life stuff. Okay, so this is the last crypto tweet we're going to talk about, and here's Sonic. So Sonic is an ecosystem that I've always loved, and I still hold bags. I'm still pretty biased. I want this thing to succeed. And now they've decided to create their own Sonic stablecoin, okay, which is pretty cool. And it's built on the Frax ecosystem. So it's built based on FRX USD and has all kinds of cool stuff in it. So there is an article here you can read through to get all the major details. But basically it's it's Genius compliant. It's got institutional grade backing, BlackRock and stuff like that. It's going to be using the bond yield to buy back the S token. So to kind of, you get that, right? Like just it's got yield because it's going to hold T-bills or bonds, government bonds, and it's going to use that to buy back Sonic tokens. So I'm hoping that this is going to get some adoption. And so forth, and it's already live now. It's already around. You can use this USSD on various dexes and places in the Sonic ecosystem. So you can check it out. Decide what you want to do, whether you want to hold it or what have you, and do a little bit of homework on it and find out. Okay. So here are the buybacks. Okay. So last one here is this Liv Degen Talks. She's writing, she's retweeting this thing. Good morning. Let me read it out loud, and then I have few comments on it. So it's mastery requires hard fucking work. It takes hours, days, weeks, months, years, and decades to get good. If you're not there yet, then it's time to get to work. Did you achieve mastery already? Good for you. Get back to fucking work. Now, yeah, like work, like one of the things I say about why AI, I'm not too worried about AI. Like AI is taking over a lot of shit, and it takes over a lot of things, but what it doesn't do is it's not impressive. Like if AI produces like a painting or an image or a song, you don't feel like it's impressive because it doesn't require any mastery. Like the thing that makes art wonderful is not everyone can do it, and in order to do it well, you need to put in the work, and that's what makes it impressive. It's not purely the song or the painting or the picture, but it's also that factor of I can't do this, and someone loves this so much that they do it every day. They failed for years and years and years and years and years, and now they've finally done something that looks great. And that's kind of what I feel like what kind of sets us aside, and what is our guiding hope in mankind is that if we appraise things not purely based on their outcome, but based on the effort it took to produce that, then I feel like we can make it as a race, and we can stay in this position of greatness and dominance in the ecosystem. Like, of course, if we produce like a godlike AI entity, he would take over everything for the most part, and maybe even feed us just like dopamine, like hits just to keep us sedated, right? But I hope that we can continue to look at mastery, and look at things that make us feel, wow, that's grit, that's like dedication, that's wonderful, because they must love this thing so much if they've done it so long to get to where they are. Practiced every single day for 15 years, something like that, right? Anyhow, so I hope that's it. I hope that's great. I hope everyone lives. I hope everyone's happy, and I hope that you enjoyed this. And thank you for listening, and goodbye.